Hey guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's review, I want to talk about VHS Beyond. This is basically the seventh film on the VHS franchise, which is basically an anthology film that starts way back in 2012, I think, like the first movie that got released. It's a long time ago, yeah, 2012, October 5, 2012. And there is like an original trilogy that got released back in the day, and then now there is a new trilogy, which is VHS 94, 99, and 85. And this is the fourth one called Beyond. And this basically features a sci-fi horror story, and yeah, so far, I mean, to be honest, I watched the VHS movie, or I guess I watched them particularly on the Dead Meat videos, where they did kill counts on there, where they go each segment and counting their kills, obviously, if you know Dead Meat, right? And I thought to myself that, well, you know what, it's October, so I thought that I might as well watch, VHS Beyond, why not, right? And I don't think you need to require to watch the previous VHS movie, so in this review, I will review the movie based on each segment here, because I mean that's the VHS movies, there is a bunch of segment here. So I'll be reviewing them one by one, and I think by the end of the review, I will rate them from worst to best, and of course you guys can see the timestamp below, and yeah. So for VHS Beyond, we start with a documentary style first, that opens the movie, which is kind of similar to, I think, VHS Viral, I think, which is like the worst VHS movie apparently. They did some documentary things there, I guess, kinda, right? And they did here, but I think this time is felt much more, authentic, and doesn't feel weird. So the documentary basically titled Abduction, Adduction, Frame Narrative, which is the prologue of this movie. There is a bunch of explanation about aliens, the history of aliens, which I think is a really, really cool idea, and it's cool that they have one of the experts, the alien experts, named Mitch Horowitz, which he basically discussing about the history of alien and how people perceive the extraterrestrial life, and after that we get to the first segment of this movie, and this one is called Stork. It was directed by Jordan Downey and written by Jordan Downey and Kevin Stewart, and this tells a story for a bunch of police unit that has a private meeting, where we follow this rookie member named Segura, which basically has to film everything, and he's also carrying a lot of ammo, because there is a string of baby disappearance on their town. So they were get tips from an anonymous person, where they managed to find a location where this supposed baby that disappears, so they headed to that location, and when they get there, it's actually really, really cool what happens next, because it was revealed that there is a bunch of zombies, in the house, and then there is a bunch of shootout that happens during the scene, and it's really cool because the perspective of the camera goes from their body cams, so all of them were body cams, so it's a really, really cool perspective the way the shootout happens, and it feels like you are playing a shooting game, and I think this is really, really cool, and it kind of reminds me of Resident Evil, that's where my mind goes, and I think it's just really awesome. And the way this segment was directed, it feel, obviously this is like an action horror, which I think my favorite genre as well, where it's like, yeah, I think the action is well directed, there is a bunch of cool perspective, which again I don't think I can show them here, because I think YouTube was very restrictive about like what we can show on the video, because there is a lot of blood in this segment, because well, there's a bunch of shootout, so of course there's gonna be a bunch of blood flying around, but yeah, it was really cool the way it was directed, and I think the way the story was concluded is also really, really cool, because again it's because this is like a sci-fi movie, it was revealed that these people was actually, it feels like they're zombies, but it was revealed they were infected by an alien, that came from a meteor that they found, there's a giant meteor that crashed on the house, and when they kill the zombies, it was revealed that they don't have any brains, so I think the alien maybe eat their brains, and then that's where they become zombies in a way, and yeah, basically when they go to the attic, because there's one of their member named ET, which is like, okay, well, I mean, that was on the nose, isn't it? ET, want to come home, but yeah, anyway, they go to the attic, they find ET there being eaten by a giant stork, which is a grotesque alien version, which I think is a really cool, practical effects, and the team managed to just kill them because they just shoot the stork, to death, basically. Like, wow, okay. And they also make sure to double tap the creature, so, and that's how the segment ended, where Segura was injured by stork, because E.T. basically resurrected as a zombie, because again he was feeding by the stork, or attacked by the stork, and then Segura managed to survive, and he basically joins the team called the Wardens, and basically they reveal that they have been they've been hunting monsters for a while, and I think it's just a really cool segment in my opinion, so that's the Stork, really cool start to this movie. I was like, did not expect that to happen, so let's get to the second segment. It's called Dream Girl, directed by Violet Pal and written by Violet Pal and Evan Dixon. So this is where basically we get to follow some, Mumbai native paparazzi, and then they try to get the latest Bollywood star sensation named Tara, and basically Arnab and Sonu try to basically again get some footage, of the latest star and try to present it to their boss, obviously. And their boss told them that, hey, you need to go to this location so you can go ahead and grab your footage there, and at this moment there is a bit of a weird things that happen here, because like the movie decides to do like the Bollywood dance all of a sudden, and I was like, oh, okay, like we're doing this now, but at least it doesn't, at least the segment ending up in a pretty cool way, but before we get to there, after Tara done with her performance, after he done shooting the dance, she went into her trailer, and I think Arnab managed to sneak into her trailer, but he got caught out, because of Arnab finding a face inside in the closet, and Arnab decided to convince Tara that, basically convincing her to be confident, like you are a goddess, in a way, goddess, right? Because like her boss are actually being quite abusive, I guess, to her, and Arnab basically said that to Tara that, hey, you don't really need your boss, you need just be confident because you are Tara, you are a goddess, which is like the song that they were singing for a while. And yeah, and that is a bad decision to tell her that, because Tara was revealed to be like I don't know, the Terminator, because it feels like she is a robot, but I feel like she's like a demon robot or like an alien robot in a way. Which again, reminding me of the Terminator, because like she has this one red eyes, so it's like, yeah, I mean, that is the Terminator, all right. And she basically chased Arnab and Sonu back to the I guess the stage area, for filming, and then she traps everybody there and kills everybody with her electrocute. Basically electrocute everybody, and everybody was dead, and Arnab also got killed, and Tara basically takes Arnab's face, and she went outside and decided to kill everybody again, and I think that's how the segment end, so I think this one is like, yeah, okay, I quite like it, because I think the Bollywood dance is definitely something that I did not expect to see, because I thought that they're gonna like show us the behind the scenes stuff and then that's it, but no, we have several minutes of musical segment, before we get to the VHS segment again, and I think that's fine, I think it's not for everybody, because some people might get weirded out by that, but at the same time, I think the payoff is quite amazing, because it feels like they are doing a demon version of the Terminator, I think, or like the alien version of the Terminator. So I think it's quite awesome, but yeah, I liked it, so that's Dream Girl, and I think the next segment is called Live and Let Dive. This one is directed by Justin Martinez and written by Ben Turner and Justin Martinez. So in this one, we're following a guy named Zach, where he basically celebrating his 30th birthday with his wife Jess, and yeah, they basically went skydiving, I think, and when they try to do skydiving, they spot a UFO and several fighter jets, which I think is a really cool idea here, because I feel like they like the way the scene was transition from the plane to the ground is absolutely amazing, because the plane eventually crashed into like the alien spaceship, and then we basically see our character again skydiving even though they are falling, and they fall into some orange grove, and then Zack basically survived the fall, but discovered that Logan, his best friend, dies, because his head is decapitated, and Zack find his other survivors, his other friends, and then we see the alien basically hunting them one by one, which I think is really, really cool. It remind me of A Quiet Place Alien, because they're walking in in four legs essentially, which I think the alien itself has a pretty cool design, but even though I wish that the face was a bit more different, because it feels like a traditional alien design, except this time it's like it has long arms, he has four legs, and then the legs was kind of like bending forward, which I think is really cool, and their face could open and it reveals like, I don't know what they were doing with their face, I think it's melting the human face, I think. It's okay, sure. And they have this Wolverine claws essentially that came out from their hand, which I think that's a really, really cool idea, but yeah, I like it, because Zack, our main character, find his wife Jess, like she's dead unfortunately, and she's trying to run away, and then like he found a truck that basically driving by, and then he asking the driver like, hey, we need to get out here, man, there's a bunch of aliens there, and the guy just basically pull a gun into Zack, and Zack was like, no, please, like I'm telling you the truth, there's an alien there, and then the guy get attacked by an alien and then accidentally shot Zack's finger, which I think really cool practical effect there, and but sadly Zack didn't manage to escape, because he was abducted by the aliens, and the tape ends abruptly, so basically we don't know what happened to Zack essentially, but like he's on the spaceship with the truck, so I mean, there you go. So yeah, this segment is really, really fun, I love the location, which is like a bunch of orange grove, and I love how you started on the plane, that you're gonna go skydiving with your friends and your wife, and then there's suddenly there's a giant spaceship UFO that managed to blip into existence, and there's just a bunch of fighter jets, and then before it transitioned down to the ground, and then we get to see our, like, again, kind of remind me of Quiet Place Alien, where they just attacking the victims violently, but I think this one is a bit more cooler, because the alien managed to melt people's face and has a Wolverine claws. That is cool. So yeah, let's live and let dive, and the next segment is For Babies, which is directed by it was written and directed by Christian Long and Justin Long, which is okay. You might know Justin Long because he's a pretty famous actor, and this segment is written by him and his brother essentially, and it follows a story from a woman named Becky, where she basically run a dog daycare named Doggy Dream House, where she trains the dog, and then try to keep them in check, where the owners are away, and that becomes her business, But because she keeps like a taxidermist of her past dog, this actually what was caught attention by the animal rights activist group, that they basically decided to investigate her home, and sending a member named Stuart and Angela, but that poses as a couple, so they can investigate their house, and they brought their dog named Pickles, and Becky characters here played by Libby Letlow, which I think she does a great performance here. Like her performance reminding me of what's it called? I think Misery, right? Kathy Bates' character from Misery, I watched that movie and it was really, really intense, and I think this segment for Babies really reminded me of that, except this time I think it's a bit more. I mean, what Kathy Bates' character does in Misery was also fucked up, but I feel like this one is equally messed up, because it was revealed that Becky actually keeps several prisoners in her basement and basically tried to train them, or I guess brainwash them to become a literal dog, because she basically dressed them in this like dog fur that she has been creating, and then there is like the teeth that she has been creating as well, and because Storks and Angela was missing, because Becky managed to get a jump on them, the rest of the team decided to go to their house, but at the same time the team are really stupid, because instead of like calling the cops, they don't exactly trust the cops, because all the cops are fascists, we can't call them, so we're gonna go to this house by ourselves, and then that basically bite them in the ass, because it was revealed that it's like two people that was transformed, or I guess brainwashed, into a gigantic animalistic dog, which I think really disturbing, and then, well, they all got killed by this giant human dog, and I love how the the segment kind of end, because there is a porch pirate, which I think happens really often in America. There is someone who tries to steal the package from Becky's home, and then he got killed by one of her dogs, quote unquote dogs there. And yeah, that's how the segment ends, which I think is really disturbing. Could be his own movie, which is gonna be really similar to Misery, because that's what Becky's character is literally. I won't be surprised if the Justin Long and Christian Long actually got inspired by Misery, which I think, yeah, that's a cool idea. Really disturbing idea. So the last segment is called Stowaway, and this one is actually directed by Kate Siegel and written by Mike Flanagan, and I think you might know Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel because they are a couple, and then Mike Flanagan, of course, was known for his amazing horror movie like The Haunting of Hill House, Doctor Sleep, right? And yeah, I was so excited to see this segment, So this segment is we follow a woman named Haley, where she tries to document, her findings of like possible extraterrestrial encounters, in Mojave Desert, I think, or Mojave Deserts, where obviously she talks to people who they saw like a bunch of lights in nighttime. And so she decided to stay in the desert, and try to find the lights, essentially, the spaceship, and there is this cool segment where, or scene where she looked at the sky, and there is a bunch of lights, right? There's like 6 lights. So she turns on the camera, I guess infrared, I think, and then there is this cool visual where there's a huge bright light in the skies, and I was like, damn, that was so cool looking, So she followed one of the spaceship, and then like she actually find one of the spaceship in the middle of the desert, where it was like, oh, you can see like a light in the distance, and as she gets closer, she find this spaceship, which I think is a really cool spaceship, because it's like looking, I don't know how to describe it, I guess it kind of looks like a nanite technology, which like the ship does use some nanite technology to heal her eventually, But here's the thing. Haley is kind of stupid because she decided to go into the spaceship, which I'm just like, woman, why did you do that? If that were me, I would just like record the spaceship, and then like, at least like call the authority to come here, like make up some excuses and make an authority to come here on the desert so they can like inspect the spaceship, like don't go to the spaceship alone, because it was so stupid, and yeah, it was. The segment basically proved that, yeah, it was a stupid idea for Haley to go to the spaceship anyway, because like in the spaceship she managed to find several animals that was kept by the alien, we don't exactly get to see the alien design that well, but I feel like, oh, I guess that's fine, because I think all the alien design is kind of similar with like the gray face and everything like that, which I kind of wish there's a bit more creativity with like the overall design. But whatever, I kind of get what they're going here with vhsbeyond, I mean, we get the giant stork in the beginning, so that's cool, But anyway, for this segment, Haley basically get trapped inside of the spaceship because, again, she's pretty stupid, and then the spaceship goes up to the orbit of the Earth, and then eventually go to the space, and then we see Earth, which I think is really cool because it was presented in this like black and white thing, because of the camera, and then because of this, she managed to. She got hurt, a couple of times, because like the spaceship was like super fast, and basically all the other animals and aliens has to remain in stasis so they could survive the travel, because they travel in light speed, which is like super quick, and obviously that's not good for your body. And I also like the way the Haley in the beginning tried to provide us like a scientific explanation, that alien spaceship basically travel with light speed, but she also provide an evidence that, well, if they do that, then the time from their doing light speed is actually going to be very different to the real time that was happening on Earth, so basically it's impossible for any alien to visit Earth, but in this segment it was shown that, yeah, the alien actually travel using a spaceship, and obviously there is a light speed technology there. But because she was not in stasis, she got hurt many times, and this small nanas managed to fix her body again and again, to the point that she basically mutated, because like the nanas was actually from the other planet, so obviously it's gonna mutate her body where she becomes this like grotesque looking creature. And I think at some point, like she tries to kill herself, because like it was too painful for her. But as she like slicing her throat, the nanas keeps fixing her again and again, and she's basically, so she basically couldn't die, and then like she's gonna be tortured for a very long time, so yeah, that's how this segment ended, which I think is a pretty cool segment here. And after this, we get cut back to the documentary, because I think there is some like intro that happens throughout the segment. There is a documentary that was presented that basically explained the history of aliens and how human reacted to aliens. That is a cool cameo by the Corridor Crew YouTube channel. Where they basically explain that, well, the reason why every single time there is a piece of evidence about alien or like mystical creature, it was always on static camera or VHS. It's never clear, and that's the reason is because that is visual effects. It's like, yeah, I mean, sure, like I don't think these evidence are actually real, of course, but some people are willing to believe them because, well, I just think some people are really fascinated with this idea of there is a different life form out there. And the Corridor Crew basically debunked that, like, no, it's a VFX. That's why you never had a clear footage of anything. And then on this last segment, they basically tell us a story of like this eldest Chinese, where it was revealed that there is several weird, I guess, weird event that was happening in his house, and he decided to show that the eldest son basically decided to record the event in his house. There's two cameras, like the static camera and then the POV camera. And I think what sucks about this is like, because I think the story of the eldest son is really cool because there is a huge history. Every single time there is an interlude in this movie, but I feel like they only do something with it until the very end, which I think is really disturbing. Where you see like a giant alien there. The camera VHS effect is really cool. And then the camera basically got shoved down into the eldest son mouth, and then you basically see, his throat, and I think the movie kind of ends where he screamed, but you only see like the inside of his throat, which is like super disturbing. But I kind of wish they did something a bit more than that, because there is a lot of history in this abduction or adduction segment, or interlude, and I feel like they haven't done much with that. Just like, well, the eldest son just asleep and then there's an alien there, which I think is a really, really cool idea to end the movie, but I kind of wish there's a bit more on this particular segment, because I think it's a really cool idea. Like you are alone in the house, but there is some like supernatural stuff that was happening. There is an alien there. We don't even know where the alien come from, and it just and as a disturbing way to end the movie, which is fine, but I kind of wish there's a bit more than that. But yeah, that's all the segment, guys, which I think is really, really cool, but so this time I'm gonna rank them from worst to best. I think the worst one, I think for me, is gonna be Dream Girl. Like I think none of these segments are terrible, but the bottom one is gonna be Dream Girl, because I think there is some Bollywood scene that was happening. I was like, oh, okay, and then like the reveal of the monster, where Tara was actually revealed as a robot. I think it's really, really cool. But I feel like again, the practical effects is really, really cool, but I feel like there is a bit more to the scene itself, because I think for the most part you're just like spending time with the paparazzi and the Bollywood dance, and then by the time it happens in the end, it was really cool, And I wish the segment goes for a bit longer than that, and I feel like the way it was revealed why this incident happened in the first place, because Arnab convinces Tara, and that's it. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. Again, it's not bad, but it's definitely the worst one for me. And I think the second one for me is definitely Stowaway, which is kind of surprising to me because it was written by Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan was always known for making bangers, and of course Kate Siegel herself, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the story and the concept was really cool, but I feel like nothing much happened in this one, because I put this above above Dream Girl, because I think there is some cool ideas here, where there is a bunch of lights in the sky, there is a bunch of spaceship that happened there. I think I love how the spaceship was actually presented here, where basically there's a bunch of nanobots technology, and I think it's really cool that there is a bunch of scientific fact that was thrown in there, to prove to people that even though you have light speed, then obviously the time on the light speed and the real life is different, so I like that a lot. And I love how the idea that the main protagonist getting mutated a lot by the nanobots technology, because she doesn't I mean, she's pretty stupid to go to the spaceship alone anyway, you know, and I think it's just, yeah, it ended up in a pretty interesting way where she get mutated more and more, and she basically suffer for eternity, you know, which I think is pretty scary in my opinion, you know. So I put this, I think this is a pretty unique concept, you know, which I think I wanted to see more of it, to be honest, you know. I think having a human hybrid alien, that's pretty really cool, you know. I want to see that a bit more. So the third one, I think I will give it to, I guess fur babies, to be honest. I think fur babies is a really cool idea, you know, because again, it really reminded me of Misery, you know, and I think the way Christian Long and Justin Long directed the sequence was really really cool, you know. The performance, you know, by the actress who plays Becky, you know, Libby Ledlow, you know, like she's really reminding me of Kathy Bates, you know. I think that's where she was going with, and she did a great job, you know. Like she's a piece of shit, you know, and I really want her to die, but you don't really get that in this movie, you know. And honestly, I really wanted to see a movie version of this Fur Babies, you know. I think that's really cool because like there is some two movies that was actually based on the VHS segment, you know, way back in the day. So I'm really interested to see like maybe a movie version of one of these segments, you know. I would love to see the Fur Babies movie version. I think it would be really really cool, you know, because I think the idea is really disturbing that she basically trapped this people in her basement and tried to brainwash them and torture them to basically behave like a dog, you know, and eventually they are behaving like a dog, you know, and then he basically created a human dog hybrid. They managed to kill the intruders, you know, and yeah, it's a really disturbing concept, you know. So that's really cool, you know. So like great directing, great writing, great performance, you know, and yeah, that's number three for you. For number two, I would say Live and Let Die. You know, I think Live and Let Dive is and I think I love the location and the character itself. You know, where there's a bunch of best friends they're just hanging out and try to skydive together. You know, before eventually there's a bunch of UFO coming from the sky, and yeah, I think I just love the idea that it starts in the sky. They skydive, or like it's like fall down into the ground, and onto the ground the stories continue even more where they have to avoid the alien, you know. And this is another segment of the VHS movie that I would love to see a full movies on this. That would be really really cool, you know. I love the alien design, you know, even though yes they are gray and you know like the traditional alien design, but I think the new abilities that the alien have, you know, which they can split open their face, you know, they basically melted down the victim's face, you know, and then they have like a Wolverine claws, you know, that came out of their hand. That's really really cool. They basically electrocute the victims, you know, which is like damn dude, you know. So yeah, I would love to see a full movie of this, you know. I think that's really really cool, really really cool performance, you know. I think the CGI is okay, you know, it does the job. And there is several cool practical effects as well, you know. We get to see some faces get split open there, you know, which again I cannot show that, you know, because I'm pretty sure YouTube will age restricted the video, you know. But yeah, it has several cool practical effects as well, you know. And of course, the first one is gonna go to Stork, you know, which I think is the best way to start the movie, you know. But I feel like it really stuck with me because you know it's the most action part of the movie, you know, where it feels like a Resident Evil game almost, you know, and a bunch of other characters just like shooting like zombie like person, you know, which I can just imagine that this could be the Resident Evil character like Chris Redfield, Leon, you know, Ada, Jill, you know, Rebecca, you know, like and Claire, you know. So I think like yeah, I could imagine the Resident Evil character just like went into a house, abandoned house, and they just like start shooting zombies, you know. And I think it is a really cool action, you know. It's very well shot, you know. It has many interesting camera perspective, you know, where we get to see one guy grab a chainsaw and we get to see the perspective of the chainsaw as he cut through the zombies, you know. Yeah, I love the alien design as well, you know, which is like a giant like stork there, you know, on the addicts, you know. And I love the practical effect as well. And this is definitely I like again the previous two segments I said that I would love to see a movie version of that, and I still do. But I feel like this one I'm just like dude, this should be a movie. This definitely should be the movie they make in the future, you know, or even better, a TV series, you know, because it was revealed that there are a group called the Wardens, you know, and they basically kills a bunch of monster or like hunting monster for a while. Because when Seguro, like the new members of the team, you know, when he joins the team, he sees like a zombies, and then I think he get disturbed by that, you know. But the rest of the characters, like they just like nonchalantly like yeah, let's just grab a gun and just like shoot a bunch of zombies, you know. So it was pretty it was basically revealed they've been doing this for a while, you know. So I can only imagine what kind of monster that they have been hunting down, you know, like the warders have been hunting down for a while now. And I would love to see a TV series that focusing on the wardens, where they just kill a bunch of monsters and alien, you know, and provide us with a bunch of cool action using the camera on their body cams. That would be really, really cool, you know. So hopefully it could get a movie like or a TV series in the future, you know. So yeah, I guess that's my review for VHS Beyond, you know. I think it's a really interesting look of the sci-fi world, you know. That is a really cool real-life documentary as well, you know, that basically talk about the real-life perception of alien as well from the 50s, you know. So I think that's really, really cool, you know. There's a cool cameo by the Corridor Crew YouTube channel as well, you know. And yeah, I think it provide us some good explanation why we haven't seen any aliens, you know, obviously, you know, and all the evidence so far has been fabricated, you know, because I think that's a pretty good reason to see why it was fabricated in the first place, you know. But yeah, as a VHS movie, I think it's really good, you know. I think the segment are really well directed, you know. And yeah, there is not a single bad segment here in my opinion, you know. I think the Bollywood one might be the one that kind of turned people off for a bit, you know, but I still think it's a pretty cool segment, you know. So yeah, that's my review for VHS Beyond, guys, you know. And I really hope that they could continue the VHS franchise in the future, because so far they has been continuing this since 2021, you know, with like 94, you know, and 99 and 85, and now with Beyond. So like every single October they release a VHS movie, you know, since 2021, I think. And I would love to see in 2025 I hope there is like another VHS movie in next October in 2025, you know. That would be really, really cool. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below, you know, have you guys watched VHS Beyond, you know, like what do you guys think about the movie, you know, and what is your favorite segment and what is your worst segment in your opinions, you know. And if you don't mind, you guys can leave your ranking of the segment in the comment section below, you know. But I would love to see them, you know. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this review, make sure guys, you know, record that subscribe and like button, guys, you know, and share the videos, the usual stuff, you know. And again, stay tuned for more videos in the future. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.